Hello, my name is Nathan Taylor, otherwise known as Sockmatician, and this is a video tutorial to show you how to work the knit 1 yarn over knit 1 increase in double knitting. Knit 1 yarn over knit 1 is a double increase. In single face knitting it increases your stitch count by 2 stitches. In double knitting it increases your stitch count by 2 pairs of stitches. It's a little different from how you'd be working it in single face knitting because in single face knitting, just to demonstrate, you would knit one, leave it on the needle, do a yarn over, and then knit a second one into the same stitch, giving you 3 stitches coming out of just one. But because we've got 2 layers of stitches and 2 yarns to play with, things have to be done a little bit differently. It's not that complicated, and it is done like this. You will work up to the point in your knitting where you want to work the increase, and that's going to be into this pair of stitches here, this knit and this purl stitch. And the first thing to do is work that pair as exactly as an ordinary standard pair of double knitted stitches. So I'm going to knit with yarn A, which is in my right hand, bring the yarns to the front, and purl with yarn B, which is in my left hand, and then take the yarns to, as you can see, I have slipped both stitches off the left needle, and that's correct when doing this in double knitting. The next stage is the yarn over portion of the knit 1 yarn over knit 1, and that's done nice and simply. I'm going to bring yarn A to the front, coming between the 2 needles, and going over to the back, going over the top of the right needle, and then to the front again. So I've done a full yarn over and a half. Then I'm going to do a full yarn over with the yarn B, coming to the front between the 2 needles and going to the back, going over the top of the right needle like that. And then I'm going to undo that half that I did with the yarn A just by taking it to the back, going between the 2 needles. I do have a more comprehensive video about working yarn overs in double knitting, but that's how it's done. Let me show you that one more time, just in case you're a little bit unsure of what I did there. So front, back and front with yarn A, front and back with yarn B, and then back with yarn A. And now we want to work another pair of double knitted stitches, but not into these ones here. We want to work them into the pair of stitches that we worked the first pair into. And so if I go beyond the 2 yarn overs, beyond that purl stitch, to the 4th stitch on the needle, which is that knit stitch there, and I go to the parent of that stitch, which is the stitch that it comes out of. You see those are the 2 legs of the V just there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the left hand leg of that stitch. It's actually quite easy to see. It's the left hand leg of the first real stitch below the needles there, like that. Pick it up onto the left needle, coming in from back to front, and then using my yarn A, I'm going to knit through that loop through the back leg because of the way it's mounted on the needle. Then I'm going to bring the yarns forward and do the same on the back. In order to do that, I need to tilt the needles towards me so I can see what's on the back. I'm going to pick up the corresponding left leg of the purl stitch, which is the 3rd loop on the needle and the stitch just below it. There you go, just going in from front to back, and lift that onto the left needle like that. Then it's already mounted on the needle in the correct way for me to just purl it through the front leg as normal. And then I can take both yarns to the back of the work, and we're done. Look at that. You see I've got this 1 column of stitches here, out of which are coming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. Well, 3 are coming out of the front one and 3 are coming out of the one on the back. It's completely symmetrical, front and back. And then you can see I've got my 3 white stitches coming out of this white stitch there. It also is symmetrical left to right. It doesn't lean in the way some increases or decreases do. So it's a very nice one for symmetricality in your work. Now, I'm going to show you that again because we are working in double knitting, which means we've got 2 yarns to play with. I'm just going to make a little bit of distance between that one and the next one. We've got 2 yarns to play with, so we could mix the colours up. I worked the previous one in all the same colours for the front as the front fabric, and all the same colours for the back as the back fabric. But what if we don't want to do that? What if we want to maybe make the yarn overs the opposite colours to the knit stitches either side? Well, it's perfectly possible to do that. So I'm going to start again with AB. I'm going to do an AB knit stitch, a BA yarn over, and an AB knit stitch. It's all the same. The only thing that changes is which yarn you're using at any one point. So I'm going to work my AB pair of double knitted stitches, knit with yarn A, yarns to the front, purl with yarn B, and take the yarns to the back. This time I'm going to do my yarn overs BA rather than AB. The mechanics are still the same. I bring yarn B to the front, coming between the two needles, going over the top of the right needle to the back, and then coming to the front again. So that's 1.5 yarn overs. Then with my yarn A, I come to the front and go to the back, and then I take my yarn B to the back as well. And you can already see the order of stitches. We've got AB, AB, and then BA just there. And carrying on then is finish up exactly as we did before. I'm going to find the parent of the first knit stitch on the right needle, lift it up from back to front, and then knit into the back leg with my yarn A. Be careful not to lose that yarn over, and then bring the yarns to the front, tilt my needles forward, pick up, can you see it's that one there, pick up the left leg of the parent of the first purl stitch on the right needle, and then just purl into that with yarn B. And there you can see it looks a little bit confusing on the front because all of the colours are alternating, but out of this one orange stitch here we've got orange white, white orange, orange white, so AB, BA and BA. And you can do the same with any combination of colours that you happen to want to make. There's absolutely no difference with the mechanics. It's still a knitted stitch like so, it's still a pair of yarn overs like so, and it's still pick up the left leg, knit in through the back leg, turn the yarn, the knitting over, tilt the knitting towards you, pick up the left leg of that stitch, and then purl with that and take it to the back. Nice and easy, it doesn't interrupt the flow very much, and it's incredibly beautiful and very decorative and very, very useful. And that's how to make the knit one yarn over knit one, or kjok, in double knitting. Zip!